Let's talk about how to use landing pages to turn your visitors into customers. A lot of small businesses don't really think about using landing pages effectively. They send all of their traffic from AdWords to their homepage and figure that people will get there and look around and figure out how to take whatever action it is that the advertiser wants them to take. That is a really poor strategy. So think about it this way. You're spending hundreds or thousands of dollars to get people to your website. You want to do your best possible job of converting as many of those visitors into customers as you can. So that means that you want to aim for the highest conversion rate as possible. Conversion rate is simply the number of people who take the desired action on your website divided by the number of visitors to your website. The higher your conversion rate, the more customers you get, and the less money you pay to acquire those customers. So conversion rate is a huge, huge element of running a successful Google AdWords campaign. So think about it this way. Think of your landing page as your elevator pitch. Except it's a super, super, super abbreviated elevator pitch. In the first 1 to 2 seconds of someone getting to your landing page, they're going to make a decision as to whether or not they want to keep browsing that landing page or hit the back button and go somewhere else. So you have to make an initial great first impression, and then you have to follow through and answer the questions that they have, or whatever you're trying to sell to them, your product or service. You need to position it in a way that they will want to make an action on your website, make that conversion, and either send you their contact information or give a phone call, whatever it is you want them to do. You have a very short time and amount of space to make them want to do it. So let's talk about some concrete tips to craft irresistible landing pages. Now, landing pages are pretty much an entire other course of study, honestly. This course is not focused on landing pages, and I strongly recommend that you go out and take the time to do some of your own research on what goes into great landing pages and then build those on your website, and it will be well worth the time and money that you spend on doing that. But I will give you some recommendations here that have worked for our clients and that we've helped our clients implement. So, number 1, use a strong, clear call to action. In other words, you need to tell your visitor exactly what it is you want them to do. If you want a phone call, put your phone number front and center, make it large, say, call us for a free estimator, or whatever it is that you're offering to them when they make that call. If you want a form submission, put that form prominently, maybe up there on the top right, and then if you have contents that need to scroll down, put it again lower down. Whatever your call to action is, you need to build your landing page around that. Everything on the landing page should be there to funnel them towards that call to action. Because if they leave your website without making a conversion, well, you just spent money to get them to your website and it didn't do you any good. So you need to get as many conversions as you can from the visitors that you get. Offer few ways to leave the landing page. So what do I mean by that? Well, think about your website right now. You probably have a navigation menu at the top with an About Us page, a home page, maybe pages about your products or services, a Contact Us page. Lots of different pages that are not optimized for conversion. If someone goes there, they're going to be distracted, pulled away from the main offer you are communicating on your landing page. It's a little counterintuitive because you could think, people want to learn more about you before making a conversion. But statistically, it's proven that you do not want to offer them many ways to get off your page. The only way you want them leaving your landing page is to make the conversion that you're trying to drive them to make. Now, one exception would be, I definitely recommend that you put your logo up at the top left of the website and link that to your home page, because a lot of website visitors understand that if they click on that image, they can get to your home page. So if they really want to learn more about you for whatever reason, they still have that option, but you want to minimize the number of ways that they can get off of your landing page. Put the important stuff above the fold. Now, above the fold is a technical term. All it means is the area on your landing page that people can see before they need to scroll. So The truth is that a lot of us browsing the web are lazy. We're also short on time. We just may not scroll down, honestly. You want to put the most important things that you're trying to communicate, including your call to action, above the fold so that they can go ahead and make that conversion right away. Now, I want to back up to point number 2 for a minute. If you have an e-commerce website and you're sending people, for example, to a product page, then yeah, there may be an exception where you want to show them related products on that page because maybe they want a different color or maybe they want a different type of product, and there can be reasons to give them other options to get off your landing page. But still the same principle applies. You're driving them towards whatever action you want them to make. And in that instance, it would be placing an order, and specifically adding a product to their cart. So you want the add to cart button to be very prominent and the end of the funnel of the landing page. That is what you are funneling people towards, that add to cart button. Streamline your forms. If you have a form on your landing page, you want someone to submit information to you, use as few fields as possible. Just statistically, the more fields you use, the lower your conversion rate is. And that's because, number one, people are lazy, but also number two, the longer it takes for them to fill out the form and the more information they feel that you're asking from them, the less interested they are in filling it out. It's proven, it's tested. Use as few fields as possible, and if you need more information from them later on, you've got their contact information, because that's one of the few fields that you need to have, and you can reach out to them. But remember, you want to get the contact information of as many people as possible who reach your site, because if they leave without giving you that information, you just paid for traffic that did you no good. Use bullet points and lists on your landing page when you're writing text and communicating information that way. People do not want to read long or large blocks of text, especially on the internet. It just doesn't work well. You lose their interest, they skim through it and move on. Use easy-to-read bullet points and lists, and also Google likes to see that. Google's robots, when they crawl your landing page and assign you a landing page experience, which affects how much you're going to pay per click, they like the fact that you use lists and bullet points because they know that people like that, and so they increase your landing page experience rating for that reason. You need to build your credibility, communicate that you are a credible company to the people visiting your website. There are lots of ways to do that. Some of the best ways are if you have any awards, then feature a badge about that. If you have a rating, for example, from the Better Business Bureau, and if you don't have a rating with them or an account with them, I recommend that you get one because that's a great tool to communicate your credibility. Also, customer testimonials, ratings, and reviews. That's a really fantastic way to communicate credibility. And also, a lot of people like to see what other people are saying about you. And you can use that to answer important questions about your service in the words of your customers. There are a lot of different services out there that can help you get reviews from your customers. One that a lot of our clients use a lot is called Shopper Approved. And we actually have a partnership with Shopper Approved where we can get a discount for our clients who want to use their service. And I've included a link in the course materials here that you can access to get a discount off of that service, or at least take a demo of that service and see if that could be a good fit for your company. Another recommendation, use video. Now, I understand a lot of small businesses don't have the resources to create a professional video about their product or service, and if you can't do it, then understood, just skip that. But if at all possible, video is a great tool to increase your conversion rate, and I definitely recommend that you use it. And if you have a good video, then feature it prominently, one of the first things that people can see when they hit your page, because people love to hit that play button and let you do all the work for them instead of having to browse your site themselves. It's an obvious point, but avoid typos. Having a typo or a couple typos on your landing page in reality says nothing about how credible your company is, but in the eyes and perception of the people visiting your website, every typo they see makes them a little bit less accepting of your website because you just didn't take the time to properly edit your landing page. Also, optimize your load time. That means that you want your landing page and your website to load for people as fast as possible. And there's a couple of reasons for that. Just number one, Google looks at that and rates your quality score based upon that as one of the factors, so that's an important thing. But then also remember, people are deciding about your website in those 1 to 2 seconds when they hit your website. If those 1 to 2 seconds are spent just loading your website, there's a lot of people who are just going to click that back button and go somewhere else. They don't have patience for slow websites. You can test your website right now by using tools.pingdom.com. It's a free service. You can just enter your website into there, and they'll tell you how fast it's loading, and they'll give you recommendations on ways to improve your page speed. So I recommend that you check that out right now. Also, make your phone number clickable, particularly on smartphones. You want people to be able to tap your phone number and initiate a call right there. That ties into the point about making your call to action as easy to access as possible. And also it ties into the last point I have, which is that we live in a smartphone world. More than half of the traffic on Google comes from mobile devices. More than half of the traffic on the internet as a whole comes from mobile devices. So mobile is no longer a second thought after you build your desktop site. In some markets, it should be your first thought. You should think first of how your website works on mobile and then craft your desktop experience based upon that. But it's well worth it to invest the time, invest the money into making your website well optimized for mobile devices, because that's going to have a huge impact on your conversion rate, which ultimately has a huge impact on your bottom line. So those are just a couple concrete tips and ideas. I strongly recommend that you do your own research as well. Take a look at those examples of landing pages that HubSpot provides that I put in the course materials here. And go out, spend the time, make it happen, use great landing pages, and you will not be sorry.